Hello everyone, hope you're having a great day. Today we have the very anticipated video called The Innovations from Top Generating Studios I see doing to bring in more leads, more sales, and more revenue to their studio overall. In the end, we'll talk about some more updates I have, how to better position your studio for 2025 and 2026, because we do have a lot of changes in online advertising, but not just online advertising, how people search for dance lessons in general. So we'll cover everything in great detail. I just want to say that this video will be obviously a lot to take in. There will be a lot of new information for you. So do take your time watching this video. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out at any point in time. Before we go into the practical solutions on how to increase the revenue, how to increase the leads and the sales, we have to take a step back and ask ourselves, why are we even doing this video? So this is just a little bit food for thought. So as you know, your studio or any local business which exists operates on two types of demand. So there are two types of ways you can actually get customers. Number one, which is the logical one, which is the obvious one, is catering to active demand. So those are people searching for dance lessons. Those are people that inquire via your website organically. You can also put word of mouth here, and these are also paid advertising leads, which we always help to bring in on a yearly basis. So this is very normal day-to-day business as always, but really what I believe and what every industry told me so far is that the money is not in the active demand, but in actually creating demand about your product. So as Seth Godin once said, don't find customers for your product, find products for your customers. The most, I would say, advanced businesses I've seen, whether they are a $1 billion business, a $1 million business, they all strive very much on creating demand. If you think about how the very first iPhone came out, if you think of any great product, it's always about creating demand for a certain product or service. Now, this is going to tie into two things. So number one, how to actually create that extra demand, and it will be very much tied into the position of your brand locally. So every brand, every industry has a local brand which is the best in any city, larger or smaller. It's always been the case since the beginning of time, all the way up until today. For example, how can you actually create more demand? Now, this is just a very simplified version of how to do it, but this is how a great marketer would create more demand in a place or in an industry which is extremely boring, like chiropractors. For example, this is what we're doing at the moment, right? So you have those most aware clients, so people that want to do weddings, wedding dances, people that want to do dance for themselves with a partner or without. This is what we're doing currently. So imagine this is a chiropractor. So new patient special, $19, book today. This is what we're doing right now. So you want to dance? This is our intro special, book in today. This is what we actually have. But if we want to increase the audience which we can cater to, whether you're in a smaller city or bigger city, you need to create demand about the service. Now, how do you do that? Well, you switch the conversation and you switch, very important, the positioning. Why the positioning? Because that's what the next slide is all about. It's all about positioning. So this is how we would do it. Let's say we're doing advertising for a chiropractor. We would talk about this. People that are unaware that they need dancing in their life. For example, this is a chiropractor example. You might think constant headaches are normal, but they're not. Did you know your spine could be the cause? And we have the ad creative and everything here. Problem aware, so neck pain, back stiffness, these are signs your body is out of alignment. You can do the same thing by positioning your studio somewhere where people haven't seen it before. And let's go into the next slide. So ladies and gentlemen, this is what we are actually going to be talking about today. And as you can see, the biggest thing we're trying to solve here is not people typing in dance lessons near me, but we want people to type in your studio name. So this is what this whole mind map is about, and this is what I've seen top generating studios do. Not even top generating, but some studios which are actually really innovative. And I believe all of these can actually help you bring in more leads, more sales, and in the end, more revenue. So let's start from the beginning. I'll show you practical examples. So we'll start from left all the way up to right. So number one thing, which I think is highly underappreciated and I would say underrated, is micro influencers. So everybody wants to do work with high end influencers, so 100,000 plus followers. But with local cities and local audiences, you want to do collaborations with micro influencers, which have between 5 and 50,000 followers. Why? Because of three things. Number one, they have the trust of the local market and they're up and rising, which means they have a very engaging audience. So obviously, I will listen more to somebody that I like locally than, for example, I follow Conor McGregor online. What he says, I probably won't do it. So number two, the cost per acquisition, the cost to acquire a customer is actually very, very good. So you can actually do a collaboration with them for free, or you can pay them something that's not as big as the other influencers, but you'll get the trust as the number three point. You'll get the trust of the local market. And if the cost per acquisition to get, so for example, if you pay them anywhere between $100 and $500 for an ad on their profile, and somebody comes in, that's a pretty good cost per acquisition. And one of the studios which does this really well is the Union Square studio. Here, as you can see, they do posts with New York locals. They do posts with other influencers which live in the area. And in my opinion, this is something I see that is very, very much underrated. If you check out, so how can you actually check out who are the influencers in your area? Just leverage ChatGPT, and you can also ask ChatGPT to find this. Is, for example, for Charlottesville, you can find people that are influencers about a certain topic. So, for example, lifestyle, healthy activities, fashion, beauty, health. Whatever it is, you can find your ideal influencer, micro influencer, and get them into the studio. I think this is very much underrated, and I think a lot of studios should be using this more in 2025. Now, secondly, we have, let's say, these are more, I would say, local authority institutions, for example, radios, and for example, local TV shows. So one of the ways I've seen one of my dance teacher friends get on television and on radio is by leveraging one of those up and coming big international days and using that to talk about dancing in general. So remember, we are still in the area of active demand here, right here. Obviously, for micro influencers, this is creating demand, but this is, let's say, also this is, sorry, not active demand, but creating demand, because a lot of people don't know how many health benefits dancing actually has. This is the whole thing we're trying to solve. And here we have the World Health Day on 29th of September, but a simple search on Google will tell you what are all international days related to health, because we're actually trying to solve, usually, as you know, you have it also on my marketing pages. People are either chasing a career, building a family, and doing both, and the body suffers for those two reasons. So this is the second thing you can do. So this is pretty much all connected. And again, you can find those local TV stations or newspapers on ChatGPT. Now, finally, we are getting to those. I would say I'll leave this as the last one. We are getting more into those things I've seen studios do. Reviews getting to 100 plus. As you know, we have this review flyer which we can give out for free for your studio. And then you have best in business local articles and awards. So as you know, these are all in a sense paid advertisements, but having the local articles, or for example, what I've seen some studios do is they would find a local newspaper and a local article, and they would pay to have a blog post about them on that specific newspaper and run an ad on Facebook and Instagram about that post. Why is this important? Because it makes much more sense and it's much more stronger if that specific post is made by another third-party institution. So that's one of the ways you can actually leverage your strength in the local market, especially if you're talking about, best in business, local articles about certain businesses. This is what you can do. This is what you can do for the studio. Now, something that's now we'll go over this side. because this side is very very interesting. Number two, hotel shows and animations. So every city in the United States has, I would say, a top hotel, multiple hotels. This is especially true for those of you which are more in those touristy places. But regardless, you can do it in both, whether your city is more touristy or not. Every studio can go to a hotel and create a show or offer animation for their guests. Now, how does this actually work? Let me show you. So let me talk about why animations in hotels is actually very much a powerful thing to do for your studio. So number one, 40 years ago, in all high-end hotels, whether 4 stars or 5 stars, you could, as a studio, organize a show and charge for the tickets. Now, most 5-star hotels want to have inclusive entertainment, and this is great for you for two reasons. During the summertime, it's sort to say easy money, because you can do shows on basically weekends. You can do shows during the work days, and if you have a team of teachers which you want to build out, especially in performances, and want to keep them informed, this is one of the ways to do it. So they would have to perform at least once a week in those hotels, and it builds up popularity about your studio, because in hotels, uh, it, all of the hotels managers are usually a part of one chain, for example Hilton, or any other hotel chain, and you can very easily be recommended to other hotels. And again, who are the owners and managers in these hotels? Usually you can also find local people which can later on join your classes and buy your packages. This is how to sell one of those shows in a video. This is a video we did for a studio. As you can see, this is just a showcase of them dancing salsa. They also dance. It's a video of 6 minutes. They dance salsa, then they dance tango, then they dance like a lot of things, then they dance freestyle. They throw the girls in the air. And for a hotel manager who has never seen dancing before, this looks like you're the best show possible that they can see uh, in their hotel, and entertain the guests. And you can also throw in an animation to make the program longer. So you can do an animation of 45 minutes where you teach them 2 dances. For example, bachata is very easy, and cha-cha-cha is usually very easy. So this is what I would suggest doing if you want to go into the hotel route, if you are in a very much a touristy area. Then what you have other is team building and conferences. Now, what I've heard is you have studios which buy numbers, and they call up those numbers. They basically do cold calling for their services. But isn't it easier to do something like this? So let me just show you. Isn't it easier to do something like this and send out an email, which has to be personalized, to the top 50 companies in your area, and offer them something like this? And you tell them, for example, like we did for one company, we did a team building for INA here in Croatia. That's the oil company, and they're like very very rich and very very hard to get a hold of. But if your cold outreach is great, you can do something like this. For example, we've been in this city for this amount of years. We always saw your logo. We always saw some of your employees have been at our studio. We would like and offer a team building activity for you, which is not boring, and will not be a pain in the ass for your employees. Because if you check out Google searches, most of the searches about team building is team building ideas which are fun, team building and ideas which are interesting. So we are basically solving a problem for the company's top management. And what will happen most likely, if you get a hold of 10 companies, you are basically getting in front of hundreds of employees and teaching them about dancing. Plus, you can always sell the story of how, in business, you have to be, the posture in business is very important. If you know how to dance, you're immediately, a better example in the society. So you can basically sell around a lot of pain points for those big companies. And, every city in the United States has, top 50 companies, top 100 companies. And I'm telling you, you'll get more money from those companies by sending out 50 to 100 personalized emails than to cold call people in your area, because then you're basically becoming a telemarketer, which you don't want to become. Then what you have here is joint ventures with popular venues, so restaurants, jewelry stores, healthy food stores. And in my opinion, this is where the social aspect of dancing comes into place. So a lot of people started dancing because they saw something cool outside. They saw somebody dancing and they wanted to do it themselves. There is a studio, obviously. There is a studio which I'm working with for quite a long time, almost a year and a half right now. They're doing, and to be honest, popular restaurants will be open to this idea, because popular restaurants are usually run by businessmen which understand business. They understand things cost money, and they're always looking into how to make their restaurant more popular. The specific restaurant this studio I'm mentioning it with is owned by a very famous soccer player, and I think if you can get a hold of a restaurant which is popular, and who likes to go to popular restaurants? People who can pay for private lessons. That's who goes to popular restaurants. So if we talk about micro methods, I would say very, very practical advices on how to get in front of more people, this is one of those. And usually you can combine this, so that like a 2-hour program. So first 45 minutes you teach them bachata, and you teach them cha-cha-cha. So similar story with the hotels, but then you teach them, and then later on until the end of the night you are basically putting on music, and people can dance, dine like they did, as they always say it, in the old days, right? So, and then you have jewelry stores. So obviously this is much this is catered to wedding lessons. So any local business will do business with you if you make it make sense for them. So jewelry stores, so this is the possibilities are endless for this. So you can offer a discounted package, and you can make a deal that you'll give them 10%, 20%, 50%, whatever the number is. But it needs to make sense for them to sell your package in the studio, or to recommend your studio. Or for example, if they buy a ring, they get a 20% off on the beginner package and a free intro lesson. This is something you can do. So the possibilities or offers are really endless. And then you have healthy food stores. Very straightforward. It's health. It's people that do like to cater. Those are people who already know I have to be healthy. And if you present, and dancing provides a bunch of health benefits. And in my opinion, it's just another channel where you can put your studio in front of other people. Now, moving forward, let's go to activities which are more related to, which also need a creation of landing pages to make this thing go right. You can also do this with a landing page, but this is much more important. Bringing the mayor and the SEO. We'll talk about this last. Win a free wedding dance lesson. So this is something. So win a free wedding dance lesson. This is for both. Online, so you can put this on your official website, or you can do it when you visit a wedding expo. If you do it right, you get a comment like this. So, by the way, I get more wedding couples through your landing page than through the knot. So, does it work? Yes, it works. So, this is what you can do. This is what we did for Fred Astaire Morrisville. So, if you go to their official website and you find out, and you go to them and you see what they're doing, what we did for them, you can go to their menu, and you'll see a drop down which says August wedding giveaway. And we were giving away 10 wedding dance consultations for free. People would sign up. We would announce the winners, but we would tell each and one of them, hey, you won the raffle. When do you want to take your free lesson? And all the people would come in because they want something. And this is how you can actually get more people into the studio, because they believe they've actually won something. The e-commerce businesses, they do something very similar. You type in a 10% discount, and they give you a 15% discount, and then you buy it right away because you think you've got more than what you needed. But essentially, they wanted you to get a 15% discount. Then what you also can do is the following. So if you go to a wedding expo, what you can do is you can have a QR code, for example, and you can show it on the phone. For example, you show a QR code, and people will get to this page, which is the same story, but this is an in-person event. So join our wedding event raffle. Same story. Winners will be announced within 48 hours. You won the raffle. you can take your free wedding dance lesson. Then you have, I would say, something, again, the studios in those larger cities are doing really well. Private schools, you can offer an in-school demo or discounted classes for kids and parents. So this is, again, who goes to private schools? Kids. Whose kids? From people that have money. This is also something you can do. Open house private invitation, or chamber of commerce invitations. So these are, I would say, ways of you getting more leads. For example, if you go into any chamber of commerce, you can give another, again, it's all raffles. You can just change how you want to name it. So join our chamber of commerce raffles, a chance to win 4 private dance lessons for free, valued at $550. So this is what you can actually do for those chamber of commerce people. And then what you have is the following, which is something which can always be a perpetual thing, which brings you more leads. Let me just show you. So there is this social club, which also has an app, and I believe there are more social clubs. You have golfing social clubs, but this particular social club is called Parlor, and this social club has a bunch of local businesses registered on their platform, and everybody offers something. And for example, this specific studio, they offer a free party. I believe they offer a free. They offer a free party. So basically, what it is you can. So if I'm a person in that specific city and I want to get to know somebody, and I want to get to know the city and the local activities, which are, I would say, catered to my lifestyle, I see this specific studio is throwing a party where I can learn how to dance and I can enjoy dancing. And what we do, whenever every time this specific person signs up, they get this specific landing page, and which says, congrats on coming to our party. This is the day you decide to enjoy life a bit more than usual, as you should. Special deal. So if they applied for the party, what we also offer them is an ability to sign up for a free one-on-one dance lesson and to learn the dances they like. And of course, anybody that signs up, they go to the spreadsheet in a separate tab called, this specific social club, and they can take the free, and they schedule themselves to do the free lesson after they have done the party, right? And finally, what we have is obviously recording a student transformation story. So and running a $5 a day paid ad on social media. So it's basically a testimonial which always is being shown to the people that have visited your website. This is also tied to the retargeting. So as you know, when you visit any sort of e-commerce website, when you leave it, you see their ads all over the place, right? This is retargeting, as you know. And in my opinion, every studio should have a retargeting campaign, which basically spends about $5 per day. And if these people didn't sign up, you just retarget them on Facebook and Instagram with a video, either a transformational story, so something that really gets the emotions going, and makes them sign up for the introductory lesson. And and this is how I believe any studios should be doing their advertising. If they have an extra $150 to spend, I would put it in retargeting. If you are already not, if you're happy with the amount of leads you're getting, it's all good. But if you want to make sure and test it out how many leads you can get with retargeting, this is the way to do it, in my opinion. Final things. Bringing the mayor. This is more easier in local cities, obviously, but is it possible in bigger cities? Yes, it is. It's just for, I would say, recognition of your local business as someone that's really, really, I would say, top notch in their industry. So this is just brand recognition. And again, if your government can put if they're doing posting as well on social media or website, it would be really good to note you there, because the best SEO is always other people talking about you. Final thing, SEO and topical authority and or video content. We'll be talking about this today. So this is something we usually help studios with, because we found a method where we can really provide the best possible SEO blogs without really breaking the bank. And in the past 6 months, what we have been doing is gathering SEO blog posts from the really best studios around, and we'll show you why this is important nowadays. I have been for a long time very much against SEO, but with the things I see happening today, which I'll show you right now, this is all about solving a problem, not selling something because I want to sell something. This is really problem solving. As I said, I'll give you all the advices and information. You can use us for SEO. If not, you can use somebody else. But today I'll present why it's very important. So all of this, why are people actually doing this? Also, something I forgot to mention: when you're in joint ventures and popular restaurants, you are basically doing this. This is Apple and their store in I think Milano, and all of these big brands, they buy their commercial properties in very very high end, how would you call it, streets, because they want to associate high end product with their brand, right? And this is essentially what you're doing with popular restaurants, or doing shows in certain hotels which are 5 stars, 4 stars, and team building conferences. Why do you want to do this? In my opinion, you shouldn't be smarter than Amazon. Why would you be smarter than Amazon when Amazon already has broken the game, right? So what Amazon does is they want you to buy Prime. So Prime is their best monthly recurring revenue service, which brings them the most money, has the most users, and that's how they grow the revenue for their company. How do they get you to use Prime? Well, they use all other channels to get you there. So whether you use Kindle, Amazon.com, Amazon Fresh, Ring, Zappos, Fulfillment by Amazon, Amazon Pay, they have your information, and in the right time, they'll present you with Amazon Prime. That's what they want you to use. So all of the other services are just a way to create demand to buy Amazon Prime. Similar thing with us. We're doing all of this, creating demand for us to sell the introductory lesson and to sell the package. That's what we're trying to actually do. Now, this has been the entire talk about the innovations. Now, final thing, some tectonic shifts I see happening right now, and why this is a problem, because some of the studios already have this problem, and if you don't want to get into the same bucket, I do suggest you stick around for another 5 or so minutes. The big shift I see. This is an email I got the other day. Thank you for the overview. This studio has been here for years and is our biggest competitors. We have tested typing in Fred Astaire, and World Champion was still first to come up. So what they're doing for marketing is kicking us down below. Oh my God, these guys are outranking us. So this is the main message of this image. And when I checked out this specific studio, so this is when I spoke with Evan from Tennessee and a studio he runs, and this is what these guys have been doing. This goes to the story about brand position. This goes to the story about what to do nowadays with everything that has been happening, and what actually led to me going into the rabbit hole of SEO and providing a service which can break out you as the number one studio on organic search. If you check out these guys, so World Champion Productions, what they have been doing for the past year and a half is being in the trenches. So January, February, March, every month they have had a great SEO blog post. Why? Because if you check out a video, not from me, not from Gary Vee, but from the person which is considered the best marketer when it comes to Google Ads and overall keyword brand marketing, Neil Patel, if you check out what he's talking about in this video, which I highly suggest you do watch, you will find out that the advertising is moving from keyword-based to conversation-based. Now, I don't want to talk about too much about AI because everybody's talking about it, but today we have to be aware of the following. In the future, on Google Ads, where the active demand is, remember, to run the business, we need to have active demand covered. What our ads will be shown based on if you have great reviews, so collecting Google reviews, if you have great authority on your website, and finally authority on your social media. So everything will be took in I would say everything will be took in consideration, and it will determine how your ads will be shown on Google Ads, of course. And if you noticed, we have already gotten our first, this is back in June, our first ChatGPT conversion. And it came from a simple conversation from ChatGPT, right? And if your website looks outdated, if customers review mentions poor service, if social media is inconsistent, you will, I would say, obviously this is the dance industry, so not everybody will be, I would say, in how would you call it? Not everybody will be up to date with everything at every point in time, but whoever is up to date the most, they will be, I would say, shown the most often. And if you check out, in my opinion, what these two will most likely will be the most important one. Social media is obviously important, but I think less than these two. My professional opinion on his video. But if you check out what's happening nowadays is when you search for something on Google, it doesn't give you organic results first. It gives you the Gemini AI search result. And if you check out ChatGPT has 700 million active users. And in my opinion, so AI is, just machine learning, and AI is just 10,000 Google searches compressed in a second. If you saw any TED talk about AI models, AI is basically doing 10,000 Google searches in a second and giving you the best answer, because ChatGPT can't create ideas. It can only give you information about something that has already been created. And this is, in my opinion, it will become about volume. Like if you check out, if you know the how social media, the evolution of social media. If you check out any of these big gurus, they all say, I do 3 posts a day, I do 4 posts a day. And it's true, because when everybody's on track, when everybody is doing the same thing, volume in the end will win. Obviously quality as well, but volume is what will, I would say, do the head start for any studio. And in my opinion, if you have 50 topical authority posts like these guys have at the moment, which they have about, I think, 30 or 20, that's the reason why they're kicking down these guys. And if you check out documenting, backlinking, creating structure. So if you liked our dancing in Los Angeles article, make sure you check out how to dress for your first dance lesson. This is how normal SEO looks like. But remember, guys, the best SEO is other people talking about you. This is the best SEO you can have. And so besides our posts we can do for SEO, the sky is the limit here. This is a clinic in Croatia which does dental. They do dental. They do Botox. They do forward poise enhancement for women. And in my opinion, they signed a deal with Croatia Airlines just to give a discount on deals from people coming from outside. In my opinion, us dancers, they all travel a lot. If the Fred Astaire franchise would like to sign a deal from any airline, there will be always one which is willing to do it. That's just brand recognition, and it's more SEO for the brand and for your local studio, as well, or any other studio which wants to do any cooperation agreement. So, in my opinion, we're talking about a large scale sign, but whether it's micro or macro perspectives, it can be done. And any of these posts, realistically, 5 posts from these guys locally is much more important than this post like this, because the dance industry, the thing about dance industry is that we are always local and we want to cater to local SEO. So foundational SEO, I can go more about this in another video for those of you which are interested. But once you have a lot of blog posts, you can do something even stronger in SEO, which is creating a guideline on how to do something. So once you have 10 to 15 posts, you can actually create a pillar page, which is basically just a guide, which has table of content and explains, why adults choose to start dancing, popular dance styles, and talk about every style, what to expect in your first class, so on and so forth. And this is how we do SEO. Now, when we do SEO, this is what we did. So topical authority posts have between 1,000 and 2,000 words, well structured with internal linking, add a table of content and keyword optimization. Usually, if you want to pay for SEO, you're probably looking at between $200 upwards to $1,500 for a post. And $200 is like the minimum. Like you go to Fiverr and you ask an Indian guy to do it, right? Because they have to do research and determine what they need to be writing about. In my opinion, if you're looking to do SEO, this is what we can offer for you to improve the organic result. So these SEO hotshot guys charge about $750 for 3 blog posts, which is $250 for a one. And my offer, what we can do right now, because we have gathered all of those posts, is 1 blog post for $99. We already have the model texts. No, they can't be the same. It's not copy paste. Why? Because if you check out ChatGPT and what it tells you and what Reddit will tell you or any SEO expert will tell you is, if you have duplicate content everywhere, you will not be ranked the same. So every piece of content we put out for SEO will be different for each studio. The only difference is we know which topics to talk about, but we'll always talk about them in a different way. We always have to rewrite what we know, and that's how we actually rank the studio organically on Google search. If you want fast growth, I suggest 3 to 4 posts per month. For example, these guys, as you saw it here, they did once 1 or 2 per month, and they were really getting ahead of this specific studio in this city. And in my opinion, this is one of the things I think all of the studios will have to be doing, because it's very much conversational. It's becoming very much more conversational. Obviously, paid ads always work, but I believe this will be one of those turning points where you would have to, in my opinion, do SEO, because it will prove beneficial in the long run. Obviously, you do need to wait for 3 months to get the first results, but as I said, we do everything personalized. So it's not like we can just put everything in the same and track every and say we did it. We track each and every possible outcome, and we do really a lot on the SEO side. Whatever we do, it has to be high quality. So this is what we believe is the best path forward for a studio nowadays. Finally, the dance industry. With the upside of the big upside of the dance industry is, this is not IT, dental, banking. These guys pay between $350 and $2,500 for a single SEO blog post, and they have to compete for years to become and actually stay on top. And then your question might be, shouldn't they do ads instead? No, because advertising in their industries, 1 click costs about $70 to $130. Us in the dance industry, it costs between $2.5 to $5, 5.5. So really, SEO is the cheaper option for them. And who starts today wins tomorrow. Most studio owners aren't aware of all of these things. If you already know this information, you're already in front of everybody. But in my opinion, this is something every studio owner should consider doing. As I said, you don't have to use me for this. You can use any other SEO company. I'm just giving you what I believe is the way to do it in 2025 and 2026. Some other updates I have for you. So, should I keep paying for Yelp? Some of the questions I get are quite frequently. You can, but I suggest to create a landing page, which will be put on Yelp, and you can actually track how many leads you're getting from Yelp. Are my social media efforts worth it? Again, as I said, you can also create a landing page, something like this. Hey, Instagram friend, take the best dance lessons in Abu Dhabi. Thank you for following us on Instagram. Can be a noisy world. Basically, your offer, but it's presented in a way for an Instagram follower. So, or somebody checking you out on Instagram. So, personalized page to track if your social media efforts make sense. Teacher recruitment, one update. We managed to create a way to target only male local applicants, because the problem previously was we were catering to people. When you do employment ads on Facebook and Instagram, you can't really choose gender. You have to do both, and you have to do 18 to 65, because it's against the policy to favor one age group or one gender. And we found a way to incentivize, if you need only male candidates, to show your ads and make most of your signups to be male candidates. this is something we can do. Finally, if you need video content, uh, we can do that if you want it. As I said, I think these other things are more important. But if you need viral videos to be taken care of, we can do it. Uh, if you need any examples, all of these videos you see here are from us. This is for the Legends Bowl Dubai. One thing about the Legends Bowl Dubai, I highly suggest. If you are in the pro am business and you want to do competing somewhere, I highly suggest to visit the event. It's made by an organizers, so three organizers: Dom and Stefan and Vladimir. Great people. I think this will be one of the events which will be around for a very long time. And I had the honor. I'm not paid to do this. I had the honor to do their website and their content. It's just, in my opinion, and I have done content for other events as well. In my opinion, it will definitely be the best event going from this point on forward. So if you're tired of US competitions, I think this is the best event to be. So guys, let me know your thoughts, let me know your opinion. Thank you for everything. Do let me know what you think about the video. I know it has been a long watch, but I believe it's a very much a valuable watch. So let me know your thoughts. Thank you for everything, and as always, kind regards.